little over a week ago, my wife and two of my daughter's friends were in a car accident. They were hit by someone who was impaired and decided to turn directly into them and connect with them head on. I tell you this not to gain sympathy or empathy, yet to walk you through my journey of how personal perspective helped me and continues to help me be better in life and business. Here are three invaluable lessons that can help you shape your approach to real estate and ultimately lead to greater success. Lesson one is empathy, and empathy is key. When I came up to the accident after receiving the phone call from my wife, it appeared as if a bomb went off in the middle of the road. There were two vehicles with the fronts completely smashed in and airbags from each car were deployed. After talking with my wife, who was still in the car, I made a beeline for the other car. On my way, a police officer began to get into my path and we connected. I let him know that I was fine. I just wanted to ask the driver a question, and that question was, have you been drinking? Police officer let me know he wasn't sure and asked me to refrain from going over there. As I looked to the driver's side, the driver was already out of the car on a gurney and they were working on them. It was at that very moment where my mind shifted from being pissed to being concerned and empathetic. How does this pertain to our business? You also deal with the accidents inside your transactions, some worse than others. Oftentimes, it's the other agent that hit you head on through a reckless act. By understanding that there are other things going on in that person's life and perhaps there's a deeper reason for their recklessness, you too will begin to level your mind, which will allow you to show them some empathy. Chances are you're still going to get upset about this or other issues, yet are able to deal with it head on in a calm state, which will allow you to make better decisions, resulting in a stronger outcome. Lesson number two, adaptability. Adaptability breeds innovation. As I reflected on the journey that had brought me to this moment, I realized the importance of adaptability. And in this case, the vehicle was the vessel that adapted to the unforeseen circumstances. When the impact occurred, there were 10 airbags that deployed instantly and 3 seat belts locked into position as the vehicle adapted to its immediate surroundings and helped to maintain the best possible experience. Think about that for a minute. Under extreme duress, the vehicle was designed to operate in a very specific and intentional way to accomplish a goal. It wouldn't have been possible without amazing innovations and much trial and error that comes at a great cost, oftentimes someone's life. This vehicle is you. By embracing change, innovating and operating at your highest level to protect your client and their transaction, you become the seatbelt and airbags. Tackle these opportunities and get comfortable being uncomfortable. Watch for the twists and turns ahead and adapt to them. If successful, you remain as the car and seatbelt and airbag remain intact. Lesson three, clarifying priorities. It builds long-term successes. One of the most profound lessons I was reminded of during Trista's accident was prioritizing my personal time as well as I do in my business. While in the ER with my wife, who was undergoing numerous tests, and my daughter, who was doing an amazing job consoling her during this time, I had a few hours to reflect on what took place that night. Most importantly, the parties that were in my wife's care that were involved. All three of them visited the ER that evening and all went home the next morning. But during that time, we communicated at each stage as to what each of them were going through. This is still happening today, as each of them are helping one another heal both physically and mentally. In fact, we were all together on Sunday afternoon for a barbecue to keep these conversations flowing in the right direction. Like anything, strong communication helps the process. Each of the moms, and often two daughters, make it a priority to communicate multiple times each day because it's important and accelerates the healing process. Not any different than our businesses. We each have those few items that are critical to everything we do. It's clarifying their level of importance and prioritizing those efforts. Do you have all the clients you could ever want? Chances are you don't. Would it make sense to prioritize 2, 3, 6 hours a day to find new clients? You bet it would. If you haven't done so already, make this one of your top priorities in business, and on a personal level, create a different list of what's important to you and prioritize that as well. Look, trauma has a special way of teaching us, or more often reminding us of life's lessons. These lessons correct our journeys, should they feel off course. For me, experiencing a horrific car accident with my wife behind the wheel has forced me to course correct in some areas of my life. It's reminded me of how fragile life can be, and it's also spurred me to ensure I'm always operating at my highest and best potential, both personally and professionally. My challenge to you is to keep life balanced and in perspective. Once you do this, your business and personal lives will thrive. As Ralph Waldo Emerson says, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Thanks for tuning in today. I appreciate each and every one of you. and here's to making great decisions under duress. We'll see you soon.